Hello. So yesterday I was here talking about my tortoises. Good morning, everyone. And I realized later that somebody had been forgotten. This right here is Georgia, and she is a box turtle. Now you can see, remember yesterday I said that the tortoises have bumpier shells and are more domed. And then here we have a box turtle. Now it is a little bit more domed, but you can see that it's smoother right there. And they get their name box turtle because they have kind of a neat thing. Right here is almost like a little hinge. Now you can see I can wiggle it. It's almost like a loose tooth. So Georgia, when she doesn't want to be social, when she needs social distancing, she can tuck in and she can shut the door. Most turtles and tortoises cannot do that. Only box turtles can. So the other ones will kind of move their arms up and tuck their head in, but they can't shut that door like these guys can. So she was hiding underneath of the little area over here. She's still kind of sleepy and grumpy at me right now. But there she is. And I'll go put her, look, there you are. She can see herself. So she's gonna go back underneath where she likes to hang out. But this morning I am going to read to you one of my favorite kids books right now. I know everything is backwards, but it's the Hippy Hoppy Toad, and it's by Peggy Archer and Ann Wilsdorf. So we're gonna read a little bit of this fun book so everyone can see the illustrations. A Hippy Hoppy Toad. Okay. In the middle of a puddle, in the middle of a road, on a teeter-totter twig, sat a teeny tiny toad. You can see the little toad right there. Snap went the twig, and up went the toad. And he landed on a tree by the side of the road. On a raggy shaggy tree by the side of the road, on a rough gruff bark sat the teeny tiny toad. Peck went a bird. And jump went the toad. And he tumbled to a flower by the park by the road. On a fuzzy yellow flower in the hush rush breeze sat a teeny tiny toad in the shadow of the trees. Buzz went a bee, hop went the toad. And he jumped to the grass at the side of the road. In the slippy sloppy grass where the toad sat still was a happy snappy cricket with a sing-song trill. Chirp went the cricket. Tree went the toad, and he chased the chirpy cricket to the gravel down the road. In the stony greedy gravel, in the shade by the road, in the calm quiet morning sat the hippy hoppy toad. Woof went a dog, puff went the toad. Then he hopped to the top of a stone by the road. On a fat, flat stone in the warm, still air lay a tough, scruffed lizard with a sharp, steady stare. Slink went the lizard, blink went the toad. And he hip, hop, plop to the dry, dusty road. Down the dry, dusty road where the toad crept along under bunchy, crunchy leaves came an easy, breezy song. Whoosh went the wind, swoosh went the toad. And he flew to a leaf hanging close to the road. Round the flippy floppy leaf came a whirlwind gust of a huff puff wind with a cloud of dust. Bump went a shoe. Bump went the toad. And he landed on the sneaker as it ran down the road. past the flippy floppy leaf, down a dry dusty road, round a fat flat stone, through the bunchy crunchy leaves, through the stony gritty gravel, by the slippy sloppy grass, past a fuzzy yellow flower and a raggy shaggy tree. It's really going for a long ride. Went the bumpy thumpy sneaker with the teeny tiny toad hanging on for the ride as they raced down the road. The shoe went zag, the toad went zig. And he sailed through the air to a teeter-totter twig. In the middle of a puddle, in the middle of a road, on a teeter-totter twig, sat a teeny tiny toad. I always like that book. It's really cute. It was recently published, and I think it was like maybe last year that it was published. Some libraries have it, some don't, so you can call ahead and try to get that if you want to, or you can order it. I got this, found it on Amazon after I had seen it at a library and fell in love with it. So I've got here, Tilly is walking around. Let me see if I can go here to Tilly. Where's Tilly at? There she is. So Tilly was enjoying a little bit of story time. But the reason why I read the Hippy Hoppy Toad, let me see if I can straighten that up. Whoops. Was because I have a little friend with me today. And this is, see if I can get that straightened. My little toad friend right here. This is Dill. Can you hear Dill? Now the reason why I know that Dill is a boy is because the females cannot make a sound, but the males can. Why do you think they use that sound? Now toads, they do not spend a whole lot of time in the water. They are more terrestrial. They like to be on the land. So if you see a toad, don't just assume it goes in the water and throw it in there, because it may not want to be there. They like to be in kind of the damp ground near, but they will only go into a pond when it is mating season, because they lay their eggs in the pond. They especially like the ephemeral ponds. An ephemeral pond means that it's going to be there for a little bit, but then it's going to go away. And one of the reasons they like those is because there's not going to be as many predators like fish in those ponds to eat their eggs. So it's a good, safe place for them. So I know here where I live, we have a pond that usually forms in the spring close to a school, and you can find lots of toads in there getting ready to lay their eggs. So they'll lay their eggs, and they will then leave the pond, and the eggs will usually hatch within a matter of a few days, and then they will be tadpoles, and then within a few months they would become little toadlets, and they would hop on out, and they're going to be in your garden eating your slugs. So we really like to have these little toads around. This is one that I raised from a tadpole, and Dill is a couple of years old now, so he's just about reaching sexual maturity. So I don't know, he may call this spring. We'll find out. So usually around May is when you're going to start hearing toads calling around. Really soon now we're going to start to hear other little things like chorus frogs and other ones that are going to be calling. And it's always fun. I love when the spring peepers start calling real soon here. So we'll have to go out and listen to them. So that's one of those things, if you're like stuck in the house and stuff, you can go walk around a pond in this area, and plenty of social distancing, but you may be able to hear some of the spring peepers and the chorus frogs. And there's some really good resources on the internet where you can listen to some of those calls, and you'll be able to determine which one you're listening to. But this is Dill, an American toad. You know, the cutest little face. I love their gold eyes. Yeah, I think you see yourself, don't you, Dill? Yeah. So that is what we have for today. Thanks for joining, and I'll probably see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.